Ian Eagle here on the Rich Eisen Show. Did I notice your voice in the Dynasty documentary on the Patriots? Did you call Brady's first start as a Patriot? Did you do that game, Ian?
I called his first home start, I believe.
Okay.
And the interesting part of that story, as I remember it, is it was all focused on Doug Flutie coming back to Massachusetts. Native son returns. Doug was always great to deal with and a good dude. And that was the lead. That was the headline. The headline was not necessarily Tom Brady, but I do remember sitting down with Brady and thinking to myself after the meeting, man, this guy was really charming, was very likable. He goes out, he leads them in a come-from-behind victory. And then a couple of weeks later, I do the game against Indianapolis, and they explode. David Patton is scoring every which way, special teams, offense, running game, passing game. And I made a comment during the game that they then used, I was told, on their highlight reel, like the sizzle reel every week when they got their team ready. Belichick's group put together a video. And the comment was simply, who are these guys? Because they put up 48 points, something like that, against Peyton Manning and the Colts. And as we know, history then dictates that they win the Super Bowl. Brady becomes the starter. He becomes the GOAT. He's the guy that we compare everybody to. That game that you just mentioned, Tom Brady was a secondary story. It was all about Doug Flutie coming back home.
Because I guess the conversation was, no question, how would Brady keep the ship afloat until Bledsoe comes back from that horrible injury? And that was going to be my question. It was like, what type of Brady did you find in a broadcast meeting when he was just that young and starting out? But I guess my question is about, what about Belichick? I mean, obviously you wouldn't be asking him at some point, hey, how's Bledsoe doing? Or maybe that second time when you saw him. Honestly, I was thinking about that stuff the next time I had you on the show to ask you about that, since I heard your voice calling that game back in the day on that doc.
Yeah, I clearly remember the Brady production meeting. I actually remember the Doug Flutie production meeting as well. We met in Providence, and this is just a complete sidebar to the Flutie side of it. But we meet with Flutie, and that was our last meeting of the day. So we go downstairs from our meeting area and we exit the hotel, and Flutie ends up just in front of us meeting a buddy. He's back home. So either he was grabbing some dinner or just hanging out with a friend. And we had given him an NFL on CBS hat, which we would give to everybody that we met with back in the day. And we had no idea what these guys did with the hat. Sometimes you would see like a picture later on, a family member wearing it, or someone from the team and the staff wearing it. And this is not a knock on Doug Flutie at all. Flutie was a great dude. It just happened to be a very funny moment. So he's about 15 feet in front of us as we're walking back to our car. He's clearly walking with his buddy to their car, and he doesn't know we're behind him. And he takes the hat and he puts it on top of one of the meters that you would park at and just leaves it there. And I'm like, dude, did you just leave the hat on a parking meter? And he did. So I took the hat back.
Yes, you did.
Stuck it in my bag.
That's
and he jumped into someone's car and drove off. I was like, I guess like Doug Flutie doesn't need any more NFL on CBS caps. Our Bill Belichick meeting, I have no recollection of. I would tell you probably there was not a detailed answer to the question, how's Drew doing?
And he didn't get a hat either. He didn't have.
I think we gave Bill a hat. He might have tossed it to Bears Nigerian, who was his guy, his right-hand man. I believe Bears might have gotten that hat.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Doug Flutie is not hat worthy, man. Not at
the time. He had too many hats, Rich.
There you go.
Too many hats.
Well, catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.